So a couple days ago, Season 6 dropped, with the highlights being the Orochi and Peacekeeper reworks, along with a new map and limited time game mode, which is the Carousel of Death, and I have to say, that game mode is pretty fun. Now, as we suspected, there were a lot of Orochis. Not as many as when the game first released, but there were quite a few, and I was out there as well, strutting my rep to Orochi like I hadn't abandoned him halfway through the first season. And I have to say, I had a lot of fun playing him. It's nice to see that Orochi can actually attack without being shut down all the time. And I like that he's got some utility and can hold his own against most heroes now. So I played on console, to get the real light attack experience. And the first thing I noticed is how much faster he is. His light attack chains are just as fast as we all thought. And of course, this has brought in a lot of complaints about how difficult it is to react to those lights on console. And yeah, I'll admit, I've gotten sliced up a lot because, they are fast, but he has only been out for a couple days, and we all said the exact same thing about Berserker and Aramusha. After you fight them enough, you get used to blocking the faster attacks, but that's only if you're really engaged. Sometimes I play this game really passively, and I'm not really focused on it, and that's when it feels like you can't react. I haven't played on PC since Season 6 started, mainly because I simply have more fun playing on console, but I imagine they're going to be a little easier to react to, since almost everything is, as this game is basically a PC-focused title now. After fighting against this new Orochi for a couple days, as I said, I'm used to the speed. If I get hit, I get hit. If I block it, great. But honestly, I don't think this is going to change. I think this is something that people should try to get used to, since I have a very strong feeling that 400 millisecond attacks are going to consistently make their way into the game. I talked about this in a previous video, so you already know. I'm not the biggest fan of making everything faster in the sake of competition, but I know that at the top of the chain, the tournament players and the players who can parry almost everything on reaction, that 500 and 600 millisecond light attacks are just too easy for them. And it makes a real competitive, tournament match boring to watch. But I see where everyone is coming from. The first time I went up against Orochi's new light attack chain, I was confused at how fast it was, but as I've been playing against more and more of them, the attacks have become more tolerable. This was kind of a needed change. If they weren't going to give him a bash or an unblockable to force a reaction out of his opponent, then they needed to just make him faster. As for the new Riptide and Storm Rush, I have to say I like using them. It gives Orochi new ways to attack his opponent, although Storm Rush is a little buggy right now. Riptide is 100 times better than it was, except that it can't execute anymore, but I really like the move. It counters most bashes and lets you really counterattack. It's also pretty fast, but with it having that backdash as a tell, it's pretty easy to block and parry if you bait your opponent into using it. Storm Rush is different for sure, and I like that your opponent can't just block it or dodge away. As I said, the rework is pretty well done. It didn't make Orochi the best hero in the game, but he's so much better than he was. He's also so much more fun to play. And honestly, to me, that's all that Yubi should care about when reworking a hero. Make them viable while still being fun to play as. I don't think Orochi is broken or overpowered or anything like that. At most, I think he's a little annoying to go up against if you're having a tough time blocking, or if you're using a hero with a reflex guard. He doesn't have a kick or a bash to spam, and he doesn't have an unblockable mix-up. He's just a fast counterattacker with a couple of new tools. The rework doesn't feel as complete as the Kensei rework, but it gives Orochi an identity, and he's not at such a clear disadvantage in matchups anymore. Most of his problems were fixed, and I think that he's an above average hero now. I'd be happy if they gave the same treatment to all the other original heroes as well. As for Peacekeeper's rework, I honestly have only seen one Peacekeeper since the reworks have came out, so I can't speak on her just yet. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. I just wanted to talk about the brand new Orochi really fast before I got back into using him. I honestly want to hear from you guys, so tell me what you think about the new Orochi. Do you think the lights are too fast, or do you think people are complaining for no reason? And as always, if you agree with me or just like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.